How do you know your purpose in life? Can you find it? Let's talk about how to figure it out. Do you know why you're here? What's the point of it all? I used to wonder that myself. I used to lack a lot of purpose in my own life. But I can tell you that you do have a purpose. I know that you do. And I'm going to show you how to find it. So listen to this video and follow through with what I tell you to do, and you will start to experience more purpose in your life. Do you feel an incongruency between what you're doing with your life and what God has made you for? Is it not in alignment? I remember when I first got out of school, I got a job working in a cubicle. I was an auditor. I hated it. I got depressed. I put on a lot of weight. I sat in this warehouse where there was no windows for 8 to 9 hours a day, and I hated it. And I hated going to work. Yet I still went. I still went for a long time. And I started to experience all this negative stuff in my life. Yet I still did that thing. Why would I do that? There's a reason why I would do it. But I was not living my purpose, and I realized that. And I needed to get in alignment with what God had made me for. I needed to get out of that incongruency and actually feel like I was doing what I was supposed to do. Are you feeling bored, depressed? Are you addicted to things? Are you seeing problems in your relationships? All of this stuff happening is probably a sign that you're not living your best life. You're experiencing these things because of this incongruency. Now, those things happening are hard. And the more you feel depressed, the more you shut down, the less likely you are to actually go live your purpose. But if you can look at these things and actually reflect and pay attention to the consequences in your life, that's your opportunity to start to find your purpose. You'll find your purpose through the pain. Those pain points are actually saying something to you. They're saying, this isn't working, or you need to adjust that, or you need to shift this. You might be thinking, Brannon, you're making this sound really easy. Like I can just flip a switch and then all of a sudden I start to find my purpose. But there's a reason why you stay stuck in the pain. There's a reason why you'd rather be depressed than actually go start to live your purpose. And that reason is because of fear. You're afraid of actually going for it. You're afraid of jumping off that cliff and seeing whether you're going to float or whether you're going to fall. That's what's scary. So it's easier to play it safe and to not live in alignment with your purpose than it is to actually put yourself out there. When I say that the pain is the place to find your purpose, what I mean by that is ask yourself, why are you feeling depressed? When I was sitting in that cubicle all day long, it was important for me to realize I wasn't out in the sunshine. I wasn't talking to people face to face. I wasn't connecting to people. I was on the phone all day long, stuck in this dark cubicle. I need to look closely at why that wasn't my purpose. What was it lacking? Now, to some other people working there, maybe they loved it. Maybe they loved crunching the numbers, and it felt good to them. To me, it didn't. And that's why I started to gain the weight. That's why I started to feel depressed. I need to actually look at the weight gain and the depression to realize this isn't me. This isn't what I was built for. Maybe you wake up, go to your job, do your job, isolate, numb out, watch Netflix all night, wake up and do it again and again and again. And eventually you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to say, what's the point? Why do I do this over and over? Just to make money? Just to feel secure enough to be able to live the next day? I hope that you look closer at your life and what you want to create. When you're in alignment with your purpose, you feel alive. You have energy. You feel empowerment. It feels like you can wake up in the morning and you're creating something in this world. You can choose to play it safe. You can choose to not step into the fear or the possibility of failure. Or you can choose to go for it and actually feel alive again. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why you stay stuck and some things you can do to actually start to discover your purpose more. But before I do, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I went to the doctor once and I was kind of unhealthy. And the doctor said to me, Brannon, one of your biggest problems is that you're really good at tolerating pain. You don't deal with things when they come up. You just suffer through it. And you just allow it to linger and stay there forever and ever. This is kind of a metaphor for our life. Things come up in our life and we realize we're not living our purpose, but we deal with the pain. We just let it linger, and it causes us suffering. So instead of tolerating the pain of the lack of purpose in your life, listen to that pain and do something about it. Is that pain telling you that you should be more out there? You should take more risks? That you're not an employee, you're an entrepreneur? That you're not somebody who sits in an office all day? You should be moving and feeling life and being out in nature? Is that pain telling you that you're excellent at numbers and computers or whatever it might be, but you're staying at that job with the golden handcuffs because it pays good? Listen to the pain and step into it. Maybe you're supposed to make more money, have more influence, create more change in this world. You will not do that unless you practice the courage that it takes in order to go for it. So go for it and look at the failures as tuition. Every time you fail, it gives you more experience and knowledge about who you actually are and what you can actually do in this world. As you step into the pain and you start to take those courageous risks, and if you fail, the doubt's going to come in. The doubt's going to come back and say, you should never have done that. You should play it safe. You should just do what's easy. Notice that doubt. Notice it come back. It's trying to shove you back into that place of life where you don't have purpose. Challenge that doubt and step into the courage again, regardless of what that voice has to say to you. If it were easy, then you wouldn't discover it. Facing the fear and practicing the courage, that's the refiner's fire. That's what helps you realize what God has made you for. It's an important part of the process. So be grateful for the struggle, because as you struggle, you'll realize who you are, what God has made you for, what are your talents, and what is your purpose. There's great examples of people who have lived a life of purpose, and they have one attribute that others might not have, but they have one thing about them, and you look at their lives and you realize, like, they figured it out. Think of like Abe Lincoln, for example. He failed many, many, many times. Someone like Oprah, Michael Jordan. You hear all these stories, and I know it's cliche, but they did one thing. They just kept going. They kept stepping into the fire over and over and over again until they realized who they are and what God made them for. If you like this video on purpose, then it's important that you address your shame, because that shame's gonna hold you back. So check out my video, How to Heal the Shame That Binds You.